Manchester United drew 1-1 versus Ipswich yesterday, and it might have felt like a little bit of an underwhelming performance, but I think people have got to remember it's a long-term project. This is still the same players, and Ruben Amorim's got a lot to change. And Ruben Amorim gave a fantastic interview after the match. He spoke about individual players, he spoke about performance, he spoke about the plans, about this being a long-term project, and dissected the game. And what was crazy was everything that I was thinking, Ruben Amorim was thinking. He was thinking the game lacks intensity, Mazraoui did well at this, Bruno did better when he did this. He was praising Ahmad, he was praising Anana. He said that this needs to improve and that needs to improve, and this player positioning, needs to learn to do this and that. And every single thought I was having, Amorim was saying about which players need to swap around and do this and that, who needs to improve, who needs to learn this, who did well. And I feel like Amorim knows it. It's not like we've played really bad and we've got Ten Hag telling us that we're the second most successful team after Man City since he joined when we're playing crap. We've actually got a manager that knows that this isn't good, but he knows what he's doing and he trusts in his project and his plan. So we're going to talk about what we learned from the game. We're going to talk about what Amorim said from the game and what changes to expect from Ruben Amorim moving forward ahead of our next game. So guys, please do hit that like button if you have not already. Of course, subscribe down below if you're new to Alice Talks Football. 97,888 subscribers and 12 subscribers away from 97.9k, 112 subscribers away from 98k. So let's hope we can hit that in the next few days. But let's get into what Ruben Amorim said in general. And I think this was my favourite quote from Ruben Amorim. I know it's frustrating for the fans, but we are changing so much in this moment with a lot of games. We are going to suffer for a long period. We will try to win games, but this will take time. We have to risk it a little bit now, and in the next year we will be better. Otherwise, next year at the same stage, we will be here with the same problems. In other words, he's saying, or we forget about the idea and we try and cope, and next year in the same stage we'll be here with the same problems, or we start now, risk a little bit, suffer a little bit, and in the next year we'll be better at this point. So what Ruben Amorim is saying is he's coming in and he's trying to apply his ideas right away, rather than getting the best out of the Man United squad and doing this and doing that and and he obviously he's trying to do elements of that in his ideas, but rather than just setting up what suits the United squad, this and that, and going a little bit with Ten Hag and that, he's saying, no, I'm going to hope the players learn my system this season, so next season when I bring in the new signings, you'll see progress, because if he starts trying to teach the Man United squad his system next season, they don't learn it, you might see regression, a little bit like Ten Hag did in his second season. He's saying, look, the players need to learn my system. His job is to profile the players correctly, get the best out of them, and I think he will do that with how he speaks. But he's saying, he wants the players to learn the system. It's going to take time, and yeah, I mean, it is of course going to take time. When you look at the physical levels of the players, if you look at the technical levels of the player, if you look at, at the players we have, it's going to take time for Amorim to apply his ball, and we need to be patient with that. Amorim said in the game, he says that he felt that his players were thinking too much and you could feel it. Maybe they were overthinking their position, where they need to be. He said it's a tough league. You learn that in the first moment. My players are thinking too much in the game and you can feel it. Not just on the ball, but where they're supposed to be. And that is hard just 2 days with the team. It's really hard. I think physically we needed more in the first half. So he speaks about United lacking physically in the first half, which we absolutely did. Particularly in midfield, I thought we were lacking in the physical battles. I thought Johnny Evans was struggling with Hutchinson. I think Casemiro and Eriksson were particularly struggling. He brings Agate and Shaw, and I think we instantly got better. And I thought Ruben Amorim got that spot on. He noticed that we were lacking physically, ground coverage, obviously old players dealing with them. And he knows that the players were maybe thinking too much because this is a new position, new role, new everything as well. These were some of his quotes from the match. He said, my players are thinking too much during the game. We need more physicality in the first half. We lost some balls without pressure, which he wasn't happy with. He says, we have to control the tempo of the game and we cannot do that in a minute. We were struggling with the Ipswich press. He says, Bruno wants the ball all the time and Joshua Zirkzee got to understand he needs to enter the box and help the crosser. He's a little bit too far away from the box. He said, that Delot used to pass the ball to the centre-backs and go inside and play as a midfielder. Now he has to stick to this position. So he's saying Delot is obviously learning a new position, so that's why he's struggling. I thought Delot struggled at times, but also was good at times. He said, Mazraoui is so smart, he can play anywhere. That type of player is crucial for our future. He basically just said, so Mazraoui. I mean, Mazraoui was the best outfield player on the pitch. For me, Anana was man of the match, followed by Mazraoui, followed by Ahmed. They were the three standouts. And he was saying the fact that Mazraoui was so good. All right, centre-back, he can play anywhere. He said Ahmad was very good. In 3 days, he improved so much defensively. He was really impressed with Ahmad, but I want to see Ahmad closer to goal, and I do think that Ruben Amorim will play Ahmad closer to goal because Ahmad really suits that 10 role. And he said Anana saved us 2 times at least. He tried to connect the players, passes, and that was very good for me as well. He said Onana, Mazraoui and Ahmed, he praised them. Dalot needs to learn his position. Xerxes needs to get in the box more. Bruno wants the ball all the time. He was noticing what was working, what wasn't working, and he's going to speak to those players and he's going to improve that on the training ground. I felt that from this Ruben Amorim, this is not a dig at Ten Hag, but I felt, Ten Hag's post-match interviews used to drive me crazy. As someone that was Ten Hag in and backed him, his post-match interviews used to drive me crazy. From Ruben Amorim, I feel like we're learning so much from his interview, unlike Ten Hag and what he's going to do, and I have more confidence in him because of that. He said on formation it was really hard for them. They were thinking what to do. It was not fluid, which is normal after just 2 training sessions, but they tried hard. They have so much space to improve, but after a draw you never feel the good things. So I'm really happy, but they tried and they can do much better, is what he said. He said, they're learning the system as you'd expect. It's not going to be perfect after 2 training sessions, but he did say the players tried. He backed the players. He said they tried, but he knows they can do better. And I think they did try. I think it's just about them learning something new. He said on the match, it's a tough match. We lost some balls without pressure. You have to control the ball with tempo of the game. They didn't do that, but they tried to do that. That's something we're really trying, and they want this, but we've got to learn to do it. The players are trying to do it, but it's just about them learning to do it and being able to do it. I think in a weird way, Ruben Amorim is saying these players are trying to do it, but some of these players just aren't good enough, and I'm going to need players that are good enough to do it. I think it's what Ruben Amorim's really saying. He said decision-making is concerned. You don't need to coach them in this level. We're doing some things not in the right moment, and that's what we have to address. Again, you can't coach decision making. That is on the players at this level. Ruben Amorim's right. He can't coach the players to be good at making decisions, but he wants the decision making of the United squad to improve. And I think with confidence and stuff, that would naturally improve as well. I think because the confidence and morale's been low for a while, I do think decision making could improve in this whole squad. I like Garnacho, but I think some of his decision-making, holding onto the ball too long, needs to be improved. But he's 20 years of age. So many other players were like that at Garnacho's age, and I think that he can develop that. He said on player roles, the 3-4-3 was not a concern. The understanding of the game is what we have to improve, which is true. I don't think there was anything wrong with formation. It's just getting used to the roles, used to the game. I thought he was absolutely spot on with that. He also says, we will try to find a lot of things about the players. We will need time to work out these things. And he's saying with the players, he's discovered Mazraoui's good at that and versatile. He was impressed with Ahmed. He was impressed with Garnacho's ability to be between the lines. Bruno wanting the ball. But he's saying he's got to learn about the players, what they can and can't do over these next few games. And that's going to take a bit of time. And then he'll know how to set up his team best when he really knows what his players can and can't do. He said, not a good result, but this is a tough league with high intensity. We started well, but we should have had more of the ball. But we are learning, and he's absolutely right. Intensity wasn't there, didn't have enough of the ball. We started well, but we really dropped off. Amorim then said, you start discovering things like you didn't know before, like Garner can hold the ball between the lines. You can understand that by seeing the game because he's always so open to try and find these things. Garnacho's positioning and always open to get the ball was great. I just think his final ball was a bit off it, and I think he's overthinking it a little bit. And I think with confidence and coaching and obviously just development with his age, I think there was a good player in Garnacho, but he did struggle. He said Bruno Fernandes improved his game a lot by playing nearer the ball, which is absolutely true. And he said on Mazraoui, we don't have many centre-backs, so we have to adapt some players. I thought Mazraoui did very well. He's smart and important to us. He can play anywhere. He's going to be crucial for our future. I thought Mazraoui was the best player off the field. In my general opinion, though, I felt that if you looked at Amad Diallo, he was ranked first for clearances, second for sprints, second for top speed, first for dribbles, and obviously first for assists. I thought he was fantastic, but I felt that the 2 best movements we had and the 2 most threatening attacks we had was the goal and the one near the end, and they both came through Amad Diallo. And I think because he's a right wing back, he's not getting in those attacking areas as much to influence the game. And I think considering he is our biggest threat in attack and our biggest threat going forward, I'd like to see Amad Diallo play closer to goal because I think he can influence the game, particularly as I think he suits a central role more than Garnacho, who would probably suit a rider role more if he can improve his defensive abilities. You also look at Mazraoui, and I said that Mazraoui really impressed me because of his ability to progress the ball. You can see this here. Mazraoui's ball progression is level to have everyone else. But even look at Shaw. Shaw only played 45 minutes, and look at him compared to Evans, who played 45 minutes. Well, Shaw played 30 minutes. The fact that Shaw is third after 30 minutes of a game, he would have been right up there with Mazraoui as well. And I thought that we were a lot better when Shaw and Mazraoui were in the back line, if I was going to be honest, via passing, via carrying. I thought we looked a lot better. But anyway, that's just a summary of my thoughts and Ruben Amorim's thoughts from the match yesterday and what we learned. Thank you for watching. Bye.